welcome back to Memoirs and Some, the podcast. It's your girl, Myia Dominique. And today, gracing us with her presence, we have new mom, real estate investor, inspiring life coach, Miss Java. She has her bachelor's in human resources, obtained it at National Louis University, and is now currently in real estate. Why am I getting tongue twisted right now? We gonna welcome Miss Java. I'm so excited.
Thank you for the warm welcome, Myia. It is a pleasure. I just want to give you your flowers and let you know I'm loving your energy. You're glowing. Congratulations on your bundle of joy.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So let me give y'all a little background before we get into it. I'm about to get her spiel too. Java is a sunshine, y'all. When I say like a bright, I don't care if you come to school, you be like, I'm going to see Java. Don't got no reason to be in the financial aid office. You don't have no reason to be in there, but she is just that person. She was that person for us, and especially our African American ladies who were going into the nursing field and nursing career. This was our financial aid counselor. And when I tell y'all, she made sure if we didn't understand why, she made sure we understood. And if she didn't understand why, she got back with you. So she was always just that person. And you know, sometimes you need that person, you know, to just come in and kind of dump life on. Was we like full-blown adults? Yes. But did we still have other stuff going on where we was trying to battle that too? Yeah, we had some high school moments going on in college. So you have that person. So I want her to know, like, never forgotten. Never forgotten, because she made a whole lot of days, and I know I'm not speaking only for myself, because I still talk to my girls from nursing school, and when I say Java ain't been forgotten at all.
I am flattered, but I'm very appreciative for the experience. And again, light attracts light. Some days I was feeling the same, and just pouring into you guys also helped me make it through my day. You know what I mean? So it was a blessing meeting each and every one of y'all. And again, since I knew you, I always gravitated. You was always one of my favorites because it was your personality in your light. You know what I mean? I had a handful of students that just was dear to my heart.
They was there.
And you were one of them. You were one of them.
That's how I feel about you too. Yeah.
Yep. So again, here we are. You know, years later, we reconnected on so many other
and we never really disconnected.
Nope.
We always followed each other. Even when I got new phones, I would always make sure I put Java number in there, no number or anything. And that's how she would always stay on my Snapchat before they took it. But I love the fact that we were able to continue to connect, and I love seeing her in her mom era, y'all. She had been talking about having a baby.
Oh my God, they remember. Yes.
She was talking about it, and I was like, oh my God.
That little girl was manifested, and I love it.
You better tell her.
And I love it here.
She just said, let me just go back. Yes. Manifestation.
Hello, little girl.
Yes. I'm telling you, it's been 10 years. My son is 10, and I did not ever think in nobody's business and nobody's lifetime that he was going to be like, yeah, it's time for a girl.
And it's time for a girl.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you.
Those girls hit different. I'm sorry, Mom.
They do.
Those girls
I'm excited. I'm so excited.
They're going to take your heart and your money.
Yeah. I'm already ready for the money part.
You know what I mean?
I already know with little girls. I know me. So anything that I got is probably going to be times 2. So I feel bad for her dad. But
hey.
He'll be all right. So with that being said, let me go ahead and introduce our end question. So you may not know, but we do an end question. Every guest that comes on the show, I do these end cards. You won't know the question. It's an icebreaker. We just kind of go into this. This card is usually based off the subject, so it kind of intertwines. But if it don't, oh well, it's still fitting. You can still answer it. So our end question for today is, what do I hate most about my current reality or situation? So what do you hate most about your current reality or situation?
The not knowing.
Ooh, come on, girl.
Okay, we shared when we were, catching up, how I'm in a new space, you're in a new space.
Yep.
We're, pretty much entrepreneurs, working for ourselves and trying to make it work, right?
Right.
Now, God has been guiding, right?
God gonna guide,
but it's the unknowing from day to day. You know what I mean? We worry about things.
And that's that question of faith that He always had you like. Am I supposed to be questioning that?
Yeah, but sometimes when you don't know, you worry.
Yeah,
you worry about, not necessarily things have to be wrong for you to worry, but you don't know what's next. When you're an entrepreneur and you're really trying to focus on your goals and try to do what you feel like God has called you to do, the unknown is what really drives you crazy.
It definitely is. It definitely is. I think what I hate most about my current situation or reality is that I am one of those people who I do not know how to cut people off. I'm in a bad, and I know I need to. I know that is a bad habit. I know I need to be in a better place of that. And not necessarily when I say cut people off, but if they're not beneficial to what I have going on, I have to learn to cut ties and let go and understand that all relationships that cut ties, that's not a bad thing.
You know what? I mastered that. I'll help you. It's very simple because I don't like to cut people off. I really feel like when you meet people, you meet and you connect with them for a reason. And that reason change. You know what I mean? Like you change. Situations change. They might not. It's an avenue. It's somewhere for them. It's just not in your immediate circle. It may not be in that circle. You know what I mean? But you don't have to cut people off. But you do have to organize. You do have to prioritize even the people in your circle because it will be a hindrance. I can't be available, and I thought I could. Before I was a person who's a social butterfly. I have a lot of friends. Yeah. Just trying to cater to all those relationships. It's impossible.
Hard. It's hard.
Impossible.
My mom told me something a long time ago with that, and it still sticks with me, but it's so hard to abide by. You are never going to be able to give someone the same thing that they gave you.
For sure.
Meaning, if she's my mom, I'm never going to be able to give her back the time or the love that she's given and invested in me coming up. I don't have enough time.
I love that. I love
the way that was 18 years, prior to me even probably knowing how to properly love. You're never going to be able to give somebody that back.
Yeah.
And it goes for, I think, all relationships
But because when you have a big heart, you love hard, and you really do mean well with your relationship.
You do.
So I don't like to say cut off. It's just prioritize. I still love you.
I like that.
I still have an avenue for you, but it's just not right.
It's not right
at
here.
This moment.
There you go.
We might, we'll get back. I'm pretty sure.
I feel like seasons come and seasons go where people are like, okay, I may not need them in this season.
Exactly.
Or they may not fit in this season. And sometimes God will put you, let me tell y'all something. God gonna sometimes put you in the season where you got to be by yourself.
Come on.
And I learned that way. And I'm not a preachy type at all.
We can get preachy.
But we could go. I was about to say, but one thing I know is that word, and one thing Marla did not play about is that man upstairs.
Yes.
He will put you in places, and I've watched it and seen it for myself, which is why I'm like, dang.
Yeah. We can get real preachy because we have to.
Yeah.
God wants the glory for all things in our life. It don't have to be a church setting. Ministry is ministry. God is God.
And your Christianity
sometimes,
is that.
Yeah. And guess what? He put you in those seasons so that you can learn to love yourself.
Yes.
Because you are a busy person. You have kids. You have businesses. You got to be able to, flourish, and he put you alone so you can learn how to love on yourself. Because
this pregnancy has definitely done that, and I'm not mad at it at all. I'm not mad at any relationships that aren't there anymore.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I'm not mad for any just unforeseen circumstances. I done had some craziness happen during this pregnancy already. I done been hospitalized, so I definitely get that, and I'm learning that. But it's so funny that was my answer, and it was not planned because I almost forgot Javen's topic.
You know what I mean? But see, but I just thank God that He is doing that because you have to make sure you're well and that you're being the best that you could be because you are carrying a child. So I'm grateful that he even got you in the season now. You know what I mean? Because he's pruning you because you got a lot. You got a lot, Myia. You got a lot gonna happen. You know what I mean? And it's the pruning season. And I thank God for that. I really do.
You and me both, girl. Yes. You and me both. So before we go to church, because baby,
we went there.
She it. I told y'all. So if this is what we giving right now, imagine what I was talking about from college. She giving, okay? But before we go too far, I want to introduce the topic, which brings me to the topic from my answer to the question is respecting relationship boundaries all across the board. I thought this was perfect for Java. And I just told y'all where I met her. So that's why it's perfect for her. Java was working with all type of personalities, all type of folks, all type of colors. And I'm not just talking about the students. I'm talking about administration. I'm talking about staff. We were in a building downtown where there were other businesses. So you ran into other people. Just overall respecting relationship boundaries, I think we all struggle with that at some point in time.
For sure.
I think we all do. And I thought this topic would just be perfect for her. Her personality kind of sets the tone for like, okay, basic respect, but don't play with me. It gives both sides. But it's never snappy. It never gave, like rude, or she was never come off as snobby. Always helpful. Always helpful. And if I can't, or this not my moment, this not my moment. And I know how to convey that too. So I thought this would be perfect for her. So I'm going to let her jump right into it. And let me know how she feels about the topic before I get to question her a million in one question.
Myia, I really think that it's a spirit of discernment that leads me on how to connect and deal with people. Because again, I dealt with them all. Mental illness, you left that out. Okay. Mental illness as well. Yes. You know what I mean? But I was even able to get through to them and, help them figure out a way to understand what I needed them to understand. But I'm just going to say a spirit of discernment. Okay. You know what I mean? Okay. And just really paying attention.
Okay.
And listening to people.
Yep.
They'll tell you who you are and, and they'll show you, how far you can go. And likewise, I'm always respectable, and I give off the energy I want to reciprocate. You know what I mean? I'm genuinely a bubbly person, like all the time. I'm always happy. I'm always like on 10, right? So if I give that,
I expect that to come back. I want that energy around.
No, I don't expect it to come. No, I expect it to come back. You get what I'm saying? Because that's the law of you reap what you sow. Mm-hmm. So if I'm sowing good energy, I expect that back. Mm-hmm. I expect that back.
Mm-hmm. I definitely agree. So we're going to jump right into it. My first question to you is, what is respecting boundaries to you, and why do you feel like that's the way you look at it? Because everybody got their own opinion. Everybody has their own truth of what respecting boundaries is for. And let me give you an example before I let you take over. My grandmother, she's old school. Mm-hmm. And anybody that know them old school folks know they tell all your business. They don't care if Sally Mae is 97 and that's been her friend for the last 50 years. Sally Mae don't know. I say that to say, for us in this younger generation, millennials, so to speak, she always tell me, you so secretive. No, I'm in particular of who I want praying over me. I'm in particular of who I want knowing my business, because that may or may not be something that I want to get out. Or just, I want you to know, that may just be something for me. Mm. She got a problem with that. My grandma do not operate in that type of thing. So if you don't want her to tell, don't say no. Because she gonna talk.
Okay, so I really think what is respecting boundaries to me, that is simply respecting people's decision to make choices for their own lives.
Yep.
And I'll break that down even further.
Go ahead.
Like, respecting boundaries, respecting that whatever Myia chooses to do is what she chose to do based on what she feel like is right. Or for her at that moment.
Or I was just finna say, or where you are in that moment.
Right. And then, to be honest with you, as long as you are okay and you're well and you're not bothering anybody else, it must be a good or a right decision.
Hello.
You know, we only have one God, you know, and nobody is perfect. I'm not perfect, right? And I don't want nobody judging me or making me feel bad because of that, right? Because we human, right?
Yeah.
But I think that, you know, we are relatable to each other more than we know. And if we did that and knew that, we wouldn't be judging people, because I know I don't have space to judge nobody. And genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I do not have the capacity to do that.
Yep. And when she said the main thing, respect goes a long way. Respect is just what she said, when you are allowing people to make their own decisions. We so often feel like, oh, why she doing this or why she doing that? We don't know why they doing that. And even if we did, that is their, what about my life is affecting you?
Mm-hmm.
The only time I have something to say is when what you got going on is now starting to affect me.
Yes, ma'am.
When it's getting in my circle, you no longer respecting my boundaries.
Exactly. And I think, too, that what you said is good, because I am a very transparent person.
Okay.
But not always feeling the need to overshare, because some things are private for you. I've also had to learn that, because a person, when you shut up and you learn how to keep things to yourself, you ain't got to worry about nobody judging you for every single thing.
You don't. And when you open your mouth, I was just going to say, the people that you owe it to be transparent, transparency is just like, it's almost like a friendship to me. It's earned. If I put you in my business, in my circle, it's earned. So there are certain boundaries that I expect you to respect in knowing that.
Yes.
For instance, if I allow you in my house, everybody know I got an in-home studio. It's not a secret. But if I allow you into my domain, everybody don't get to walk through the front door. Some people walk through the side door, and that's all you get. So, and it's not to say one person is better than the other, but my home is my sanctuary. This is where my energy is, my space. I can't afford to allow that. Number one, you ain't coming through no door, side or front, with no bad energy. But some stuff is just sacred. I have some people who get on the podcast and I don't know them personally. So no, side door action it is. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, it's not.
It's a respect thing, because I would expect, if I came into your household, there are certain boundaries, rules that you would want me to respect as well. People want to take their shoes off in their house. I'm not that person, but there are people like that. It's just that respect thing. I think we got to kind of make the connection. And I think it is a generational thing too, because what we look at as respect and where they see as respect are two totally different things at times. But I think it's also the olden days have a way of kind of disrespecting or disregarding the newer school. Meaning, like, I hear a lot of girls say all the time, oh, I want to go back to the olden days when we ain't have to work and we ain't have to do this, talking about women. Me and my best friend was just talking about this. And this lady, her guy's grandmother said, yeah, y'all want that, but I hope y'all know we got our ass kicked.
Oh, my grandmother.
She let it be known. It's no respecting and boundaries in that. There were no boundaries. That was just their life.
It was their life. My grandmother had 12 kids, right? I come from a really big family. My grandmother had 12 kids. My grandfather was in the army service back then. Women just didn't work. With 12 kids, how could you? Right? But you know, it wasn't peaches and cream what it's all cracked up to be. My grandmother, I had asked her, like, in my adulthood, one day we would just sit at the kitchen table talking, and I was like, Grandma, would you ever get married again? She looked at me, she was like, hell no. She was like, that's one thing I never desired to do again. Like, they went through it. You know, we actually, to be honest with you, we got it more easier than they did back then, because we have our own money, we're educated,
and we're able to do it without feeling a certain way. Like Java was just saying, you know, when you respect other people's boundaries, you allow them to do what they want to do. If I want to quit my job tomorrow and be the biggest influencer in my head I could be, guess what? I'm the only person who have to live with that decision.
And girl, thoughts become things. Then we just say how we manifested these little babies we got going on. Thoughts become things. And so when it comes to boundaries, I respect people's decisions. And I'm going to root you on. And if you got down, I'm going to figure out a way to make you understand how it could work. That's just how I am, I am for your boundaries. If your choice is your boundaries, choice, and it's protection, like you said. You don't know people that's coming in here. Yeah. You have to protect yourself and your family. Yeah. So I really think that boundaries are very important, and it's something that we have to set.
You have to have those. You have to have boundaries. Now, here's my next question. Which type of relationships do you feel get boundaries crossed the most, and why? Friendships, relationships, family.
Say, I'm not going to say friendships because my friends are my family. My family, we don't have no boundaries, but that's not like a burden to me. I'm going to say in my personal relationship.
Me too.
I'm going to say in my romantic relationship. Yeah. Boundaries get crossed because, I feel like, I should be able to do this or some sort of entitlement. And I'm not just going to say on his part, on my part too. Uh-huh. So we cross boundaries all the time. And that's weird.
It is. It's so funny you say that because I look at my past relationships and then I look at my relationship now, and I definitely think intimate relationships, boundaries get crossed the most. Yes. We can argue, y'all let me know in the comments which relationship y'all feel like it's crossed the most. But if I have to give my personal opinion, I will agree with Java. I definitely believe that is your intimate relationships. And I think I'm kind of a little bit like her. I'm definitely spoiled, so it ain't a whole lot. I'm not going to hit that no word a little too much.
For sure.
I can't hear that a little as often. However, what I will say is when you're intimate with a person that unfortunately women can cloud your judgment, which means sometimes you let boundaries get crossed. And sometimes it's not a big deal, but then sometimes we know as women, you continue to let, and this is with any person, I shouldn't even say with women, you continue to let a person cross those boundaries and continue to let them do something, what y'all think gonna happen? They're gonna continue to do it, right? And if it's annoying after a while, it's not gonna matter that it's annoying because how many times did you let them?
And that's a problem.
There you go.
And it's hard to undo it. And now it's that's what happens. But that's I can't explain it. That's one thing I don't have the answers to. We cross boundaries all the time in our romantic relationships, and I don't know how to undo it.
I don't either.
I don't know how to hold back from my partner.
Me neither. I don't know how to hold back. I think down to what's going on in the group chat. It's almost like inevitable. I'm like, babe, such as and it's not to even. I don't know. Some people consider it like telling business, but I feel like when you're in a relationship, it's kind of that's how he know what my mood is. Okay, her two friends into it, or her sister and her mama into it, or whatever the case. He gets it.
Yeah, you know what? I really feel like my partner is my confidant. So that is my safe space. He is my diary.
There you go. I second
but
that.
It's not in a derogatory way. Yeah. That is. Yeah, that's something.
I'm with you. So share an experience with me where you feel like sometimes maybe or a time where in your relationship you feel like either you crossed the boundary or he crossed the boundary.
Let me try to pinpoint one because there's so many.
Go ahead.
Okay, let me think. Let's come back to that one. Let me think on that one.
Okay, I'm gonna answer it and then I'm gonna let you answer.
Okay.
So, in my current relationship, my guy is super, super chauvinistic. He's a gentleman. He opens doors. He will not walk through a door if I ain't walked through it first. And, for me, I was like, wow, this is totally different. Because not to say that in my past relationship that didn't happen, but it wasn't made to be a priority. I think coming into this relationship, I just refuse to not lay down the law. In this relationship, I'm like, this is what you got to do. This is what I want. This is what it is. Da, 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 so on and so forth. So now he do it so much. When I go to like maybe lift something or open the door, he be looking at me all crazy like, we've been in this relationship for how long and you still think, you know what I'm saying? And it's so crazy to see, like, dang, okay. Now that's his space, you know. Now that's his area, and it's not a bad thing, you know, to be crossing that boundary. But now you in a relationship where you have that space, and you have that, and now he like, no, that's what you asked for. So now get on your side.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, before I forget, look. So mine, I was trying to figure out a way how to be transparent but not say too much. But it's with parenting. You know, I'm a new mom.
Okay.
And my significant other is African. He's Nigerian.
Okay.
It's a culture difference, right?
Oh yeah.
Now you know how we are. This little girl is my everything. Like I love my daughter, and you know I cross boundaries all the time by trying to, you know, tell him how I want him to be a father or how to do it. And I didn't know how to turn that off. And he was getting so frustrated because he was like, you know, like, that's my daughter too. Like, I'm not going to let nothing happen to her. And I'm always trying to be in control of how we raise her. And I had to stop because she's half Nigerian. And if he want to teach her those things, I want her to learn those things. I want her to learn those things. Because that's one of the things that attracted me to him. So it's the whole, you know, giving him space to make decisions for our child and trusting him. You know, and I'm learning. I'm still learning. But that's boundary cross. And it's disrespectful. We cross them all the time. Absolutely. And I was trying to like figure it a way like where he crossed on me, but if we're being transparent and being honest, that's one of the boundaries that I have to learn how to just. First of all, I'm not a man. I'm not a father.
So I don't know how to do
I'm not an African man. I don't know what y'all sung and how y'all did that in Africa. But I gotta trust that the man that I love is gonna.
And I chose to give this child
and got our best interest just like me. Oh, he does a good job. But I'm right there gonna make sure my you know.
Put your foot on the neck.
So make sure you gonna do
with the foot on the neck. Period, Jay. But it's the foot on the neck. Y'all, I love it. Okay, so how do you handle people who don't respect your boundaries?
I mean, you gonna respect my boundaries or you gonna be listening to crickets.
I like that answer because mine was real short and sweet. I don't.
You right.
I don't.
You can't feed. If you, my grandmother used to always say, if you want something to die, let it starve. If you're not respecting my boundaries, it's disrespectful. I'm not arguing and fight with nobody. You're gonna be arguing and fight with yourself. It ain't no. Can't nobody get in unless you let them in. That's true. You try. If I set up a boundary and I got it like this,
and that's what I was just finna say. Where she finna go before I even forget that thought. She is right on the head. Once I set up where I'm at with something, it's up to me to allow you in that space to break it. It's not up to you. A lot of times we be like, oh, this person did this and this person did this, but we allowed them to be able to.
And at this point, Myia, I'm a grown woman. You know, I've made a lot of good decisions for myself that I'm very proud of. I can't easily be manipulated and, you know, like I said, my spirit of discernment is always at an all-time high. I can't be manipulated. You ain't no way around. Once I do this, and like I said, once I'm here with something and I set up a boundary, that's just what it is. Mm-hmm. You know, because anything else is delusional. To me,
my girl say anything else is delusional.
Yeah.
Anything else is delusional, period. I love that. Okay, so my girl just definitely gave us the same answer I was going to give y'all. I don't. I'm not going to deal with it. If I can't keep that boundary up and you can't respect where we are, then we got to regroup. And we got to refigure out how we going to do this because that's not what we're doing. And I'm not okay with it. You know, I'm not going to be uncomfortable, number one, for nobody. But number two, we're not going to do the back and forth and the combativeness over my life or your life for that matter.
My space in my life.
There you go.
Yeah.
Or your space in your life. Be clear. I don't cross boundaries. Because I'm not going to cross yours. I was just about to say the same expectation that I have is the same one that I am putting out. If you in that place, you in that place. And I got to leave it alone and be okay with that.
And that's period. And that's the end of it, you know, and that's just that.
Now, do you categorize your boundaries in priority? Meaning, do you prioritize respect for family boundaries more than respect and friendship
ones? Again, my friends are my family. And
it don't necessarily have to be friendship.
Or it could be family.
It could be family versus relationship.
I feel like I'm gonna be honest. I don't have a boundary when it comes to my family because again, I have a close knit family. It's a lot of us. Mm-hmm. And if my cousin need me, she can call me. Vice versa. We help each other out with our kids. I'm picking up her kids. She's watching my back. And I love that for us. So I don't feel like with them, I don't have that type of family.
I don't have no boundaries.
I don't have no boundaries. My cousins are some of my best friends who I'm talking to all the time. If anybody can incriminate me, it's those cousins of mine. Right? So, again, I don't have boundaries with them, but I don't think it's in a way where I don't have, issues family-wise that I feel like I have to, have those boundaries.
Boundaries set up.
Yeah, I don't care. Yet now, I haven't had that problem.
Well, that's amazing because a lot of families, everybody can't say that. That some families do. They don't respect your boundaries. Some families, y'all ever watched a movie or seen families where the couple getting married and the mama got so much say in what everybody else do, and the dad's family or the groom's family got so much. It becomes
so much control.
A thing. It becomes so crazy and chaotic because there aren't any boundaries. Unfortunately, I'm one of them people. I do got to set boundaries with my family. For a long time, I was the money girl. When I first graduated from college and started working as a nurse and started working full time, I was the money girl. I was who everybody needed $1 from, $100.
I've been there.
$20. And I had to set those boundaries because I was just like, I can't keep doing that. I have my own 2 kids upstairs, that I have to take care of. And that's my money. I work for it. I don't really owe an explanation about it.
And you're not a bank. You know what I mean? But when you have a big heart, sometimes you do. But I used to do that. I could relate to that. I used to be the money girl because I've always been an entrepreneur. Always was able to take care of myself and, be okay, be well off.
Be well off, yeah.
But guess what? When I stopped handing out money and borrowing money,
I started being a lot more well off.
I got more of it. I do.
I got a lot more of it.
Yeah, a lot more of it. And it's boundaries. You don't owe nobody nothing. Now, if you want to give somebody something, you can, but you're not a bank. Number one, you're not. You're not. Because why can't they go to somebody else? And then I learned, too, when you say no to somebody, they're going to figure out a way
to get it from somewhere else.
Yeah. So you're just going down the line.
I'm just a person on the list.
And if I say yeah, then I got. But if I say no, you're going to figure out a way. Well, how about no and figure it out? I'm not a bank. I'm not. No,
yeah.
That's not on my resume.
So to answer that, I guess from my perspective, she made a very valid point and it's circumstantial. For me, I do prioritize my immediate family kind of boundaries and how I do things. I am a little bit more lenient with my immediate family, and when I say that, like my mom, my stepdad, my dad, my sisters, my brothers, and I'm kind of with Java on that. A lot of my friends are my family. Like a lot of my friends are family, so they can come over whenever. They it's usually a, what you doing? How you doing? Let me, or do the kids need this? Or can I come grab the kids? So I definitely understand that. But then I also have to put up those boundaries with family. And unfortunately, my family don't always understand that. But these are my kids. And anybody that know African American families
don't play about them kids. We don't
play about them kids. And because we don't play about them kids, sometimes we try to tell people how to take care of their kids.
Oh, what I was doing with her dad. Her own daddy. I was trying to tell him how to take care of my baby. My baby, our baby. You see what I'm saying? See, I was saying my baby, our baby. So, again, yeah.
See, hers is a little different, though. See, y'all in a relationship, that's her father. For those who are not, monetarily supporting these children or always have these opinions about how things are done, you got to set them boundaries. So I have to just flat out stop having certain conversations with people.
I'm with you,
flat
right?
out.
Because that's one thing that I trust myself wholeheartedly to do, and that's take care of my baby.
Yep.
And I promise you, with the help of God, I'm gonna do my very best.
Mm-hmm.
And when you know that, it's also disrespectful for somebody to try to judge the way
critique how you handling your child.
Not when you're a good mom like me. Not when you made the sacrifices I made. You know what I mean? I trust myself with the decisions I make for my child, because that's the quickest way to get cursed out. In Jesus' name.
Come on, gospel gang.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you feel that respecting boundaries helps to define your character and how people look at you?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. You glow different when you have boundaries.
Yep.
You know what I mean? People respect you when you respect yourself by having boundaries. It's a different light you live in when you have boundaries, because boundaries are created to protect you.
Yep.
So when you protecting yourself and living a life that's safe.
I was just about to say, when you are living in a safe space, when you are respecting not only the people around you, but making the people around you respect being around you, you in a safe space. You in that. Everybody want to be in the soft girl era. That's a soft girl era.
That's a real soft girl. I love
that's top tier right there. That's a soft girl era where you can make them demands and you can say, this is my space. This is how I need it to be operated. And you're going to treat me as such, or you won't treat me at all.
And guess what? You're not going to start to live in your soft girl era until you create some boundaries.
Yep.
And I can tell the way you conversate, if you have them or not. By the way you carry yourself. It's the conversations you have.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
It was you carry yourself for me.
Oh, for sure. I've been in public and I can hear women on their cell phones, just hearing how
you talking all your business, telling all your business.
You can tell what type of lifestyle you're living.
Yep.
So you glow different when you have boundaries.
That's it. You glow different when you have boundaries. That is it. That is the one for the episode. You glow different when you have boundaries.
Absolutely.
I'm telling y'all, she dropped so many gems, but that is the one. What I will say is, piggybacking off what Java said as far as the way you carry yourself. A lot of people look at the way you carry yourself as your physical appearance, how you physically dress. And yes, that is true. And if we talked about boundaries and how you dress, I'm not a person, y'all don't never see me get on here naked. Do I dress sexy? Absolutely, I'm grown. But I also have 2 sons upstairs. And they look at women, whether I want to believe it or not, at 10, 12, and it ain't going to get no better at 15, 16, 18, 21. So knowing that they look at women and they see women, I like to respect that boundary of them. I'm not naked in front of my kids ever. They are my kids, but they don't see me naked. They don't see me undressed when I'm going out. If I'm wearing something that's more provocative, more than likely, they don't see me go out that door. More than likely, they don't. If they do, it's because that little one came down to my closet being nosy. However, for the most part, but I'm not also a mother that feels like I have to kind of hide how I dress because I don't dress provocatively. And it's 16 years between me and my son and 18 between me and the younger one. So we ain't that far apart to where how I dress is going to be embarrassing to them in the first place.
It's not that much different.
It ain't. Right. So I look at that and I say, it just hit me when she said it's how you carry yourself. People often look at it's only the way you dress, and it's not. The way you dress is part of it. That's the outside. That's the exterior. But the interior of how you carry yourself and how you show up makes a total difference in the respect, because you can't want somebody to respect your boundaries and you ain't respecting nobody else.
I agree wholeheartedly. It's not even about outside, because how you dress is a reflection of what's going on the inside. It's how you feel about yourself is how you carry yourself. Fantasia said something when she had her podcast with her husband. Everybody compliments her on how well she dresses and how she looks. And she was saying half the time, I style myself. And she showed some pictures where she had on like a Target outfit. It's not the outfit. It's what I'm putting in the outfit.
Yep.
I'm putting confidence in the outfit.
Yep.
I'm putting, boundaries in the outfit. I'm putting discipline in this outfit. So you're going to glow different when you do the things that you need to do. Because it's an outward reflection on what's going on the inside.
That's
because
deep.
there's no way. And like I said, to the girls who dress provocatively, that works for them. First of all, I respect my boundaries and my body type. So that don't work for me.
I respect my boundaries.
Do I feel sexy? Of course I'm sexy because I have sex organs. So that's not a question. But it's all, boundaries. How you feel about yourself. And, how you express yourself.
Yeah.
How you dress has nothing to do with the outward appearance, but more so
what's
all
inside.
What's
inside. Java dropping some gems on y'all. So as we are dropping these gems, I want her to keep going because Memoirs and some, we always do a just think on it. So every episode, I always ask my guests to give me 2 takeaways or 2 words of advice, a quote, a song, anything that will empower the next woman. So that's all Memoirs and some is about. My podcast is simply empowering. We are affirming, we are healing, we are being the best versions of ourselves. And it's girl talk. It's not always girl talk. No discrimination to my guys because I done had some dope guys. But it's all about using your experience because we know memoirs are what? Memories. Mm-hmm. It's all about using your experiences, your memories to say, hey, this is what I went through. This is what we got going on. And this is how I dealt with it. So give me 2 takeaways on respecting boundaries.
2 takeaways on respecting boundaries. Number 1, it's a must. Number 2, what we went over earlier, we're just saying, if you really want to enter into that soft girl era, that's the gateway. It's boundaries. Because once you get your boundaries in order, you're going to get disciplined with your time. Mm-hmm. You're going to get disciplined with your money. It's other things that fall into play with boundaries. It just starts there. Yeah. Right? So if you're really looking to have a well-balanced life, this soft girl life, this easy life, this stress-free life, this life that's going to work for you and you don't have to work it starts with boundaries. It starts with boundaries.
What they be doing at the poetry night?
She snapped it up for me.
She just snapped. I don't know if it was the hat with the glasses and all of it going with
And I'm going to tell you this too, because it's not nothing that I'm just saying because I heard it. This is something that we actually have to live and go through my life and learn and see what's working and what's not working. And this is one of the things that's going to help you get your life together. And whatever together means for you. Whatever you try to do. If you try to elevate from one space to another. If you try to just wake up and get a routine going every day, that's going to cost some boundaries.
Yeah. Y'all heard us? It's always about the boundaries. I don't care. Lifestyle is about your boundaries. If you don't set them boundaries, you don't put them in perspective. She just gave y'all the truest gem, the biggest tip. She gave it to y'all.
And you just sealed it. Lifestyle is about boundaries. And that's it.
That period.
I love that.
I love this episode. I love the topic. I love the person I chose. I done hit it again, y'all. Did you have fun?
Oh my God, I am excited about it. I'm excited about everything that you're doing.
Oh my goodness. I love when my guests, number 1, come and support. But I love when my guests are invested because I'm one of those people. When I mess with you, I mess with you. It don't matter if you selling garbage bags, baby. I'm gonna be like glad or hefty. What you want?
Yes.
What you want? What we doing? If you around here selling curling irons, baby, by the time I do my doggone content, I'm gonna be like Java's curling irons. Who? Because who's didn't curl better than that?
Yeah.
So I love when people are invested in what you have going on because when it's genuine, you feel it. Number 1, you feel it, but Number 2. It continues to be around you. I ain't had nobody that comes sit on the podcast, and this is just a toot of my own horn. Thank God. Never came down here and was like, I was uncomfortable. I don't want to answer that. Boundaries.
It's the energy. This is a good space. This is a good space. Give it up to yourself. This is a good space to do that.
I love a safe space.
I feel good down here.
I love a good safe space.
Yeah, the boundaries is working because I feel I feel safe. I feel soft enough to be myself and be comfortable.
To be who you are.
This is a good space.
And the only way you can be who you are to help somebody else is if you can show you're in that space to be who you are. You have to live in your truth. It ain't always been easy. I know you probably be the first, last, middle person to tell you. It ain't easy. Nothing about it is easy when you setting boundaries. I don't care who it is. It's not easy. But being able to do it and recognize it and know that it got to be done is always going to put you at the best. It's always going to put you at the top. It's always going to put you ahead because you're ready to attack that next level. But you got boundaries. You got something to... What was the things when kids used to... TikTok Shop got it now. It's so funny. I know I need to stay off TikTok. But it's a little organizer for kids when they get their lunch. And it separates their food, the separators. You got to have separators. Life separators, boundaries, however you want to call it. You don't want your goldfish touching your strawberries. You don't want your blueberries touching your peanut butter and jelly. It's a reason for that.
Absolutely.
It's a reason for that. We don't want the fruit touching this because what? It's going to make it soggy. It's the same thing in life. You don't want this crossed because of this. It's all circling back to having them boundaries in your life.
This is my favorite episode.
This your favorite episode?
This is my favorite. Because it's so essential. Like,
it is.
We're dropping gems because every podcast that you listen to, everybody's trying to figure out how to live this soft girl life. And, you know, it's basic. Very basic.
It's basic.
Very important.
The blueprint is basic.
Very basic. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We just need to start doing it.
Put the action to it. Put the action to it. Well, I thank you so much for coming. I really, really appreciate you dropping these gems on us, letting the girlies know how to get in a soft girl era, but most importantly, giving us those gems and just giving us the tea on boundaries. Being in that place of accepting boundaries, setting boundaries, and not feeling no type of way about it. Like no guilt, no nothing. We just setting them and we moving forward because that's the only way you're going to do it right.
Absolutely. Try and error. Start setting.
You got to start somewhere. You got to set them somewhere. Well, I just appreciate Miss Java, and I want to thank y'all always for tuning in with your girl. Y'all know it's a wrap for Memoirs and Son, the podcast. Again, I am your host, Myia Dominique, and we here every other Tuesday at 7 p.m. But we'll see y'all when I see y'all. Peace.